right, Single at 40 podcast. Let's go. So today's good. We got our first guest. It's Michael Lee Archambeau, also known as Hallie Mikey or Daddy Mikey in the Philippines. This is a big deal for us because we've done a few podcasts and we haven't had a guest. So welcome, Mikey.
You're welcome.
We also have Glenn in the background.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So let's start with Mikey. Mikey's a really important and special person to the whole Single at 40 thing. First of all, he's the godfather of Single at 40. No. And the reason I say that is the first time I ever went to the Philippines, I went with Mikey and a bunch of his friends, and Mikey took care of me. We had hotel rooms next to each other, showed me the ropes, taught me the lessons, and so he's always going to be near and dear to my heart for that. The other thing Mikey did is he built this studio we're sitting in, so a side note about Mikey. So anyways, welcome, Mikey.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, no, you're the first guest, man. It's the first guest of many, hopefully. So we're going to practice on having a guest in different camera angles and see if we can get better at it and go from there.
Right.
But we'll start with you. You've obviously lived in Hawaii for years, and that's where I met you when I came here. Me and Mikey work in the same industry. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Oregon.
Oregon?
Yeah, Bakersfield. Then I moved to Wisconsin. And then after that, I met a local girl, and I moved to Hawaii back when I was 25.
25?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in Hawaii a long-ass time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mikey, I obviously know he's from Wisconsin, and my Niners just lost to his Packers, even though I had to represent, put the hat on. But I don't mind Mikey as a cheesehead because he's actually from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, yes.
So you lived in Hawaii a long-ass time, and then what did you think about the Philippines before you ever went? Did you know much about it? Because for me, I knew nothing.
I knew nothing either when I first went. I was kind of scared, had to get my passport and everything like that. And I was just going through a separation. And when I went there, I was crazy.
So what year did you first go? And
2004.
And how did that end up happening? Like, who took you?
Albert took me. Yeah.
Albert.
And I went with Albert, and then I went with all the Schumans and Willie. Yeah.
So leading up to it, like, did you know anything about it other than just what did they tell you? Like
nothing, just bring bills, and back then you had to, we were bringing $5. We were tipping $5, and that was way too much, and stuff like that. I didn't know nothing.
So
I was going to another country.
About the fun you were gonna have, or
no. Yeah.
That's crazy. So the first time she said 2004.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a bus pick you up, or did you take a van?
No. We ended up at the airport, and we didn't know how to go do anything at first. Yeah, because someone was supposed to be there, but we were a week early. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we had to get 2 buses, and we went to Angeles, and we were lost. We didn't know where to go.
So where'd you guys stay on the first visit? Do you remember that?
I don't remember the name of the place, but then the next day we moved, and then we went to, I can't remember.
How long was the first trip?
First trip was, I think a week.
Yeah. A week?
Yeah. And I kept going all the time.
How soon after did you go back? Couple months, year?
No, that was 6 months. Then after that, I kept going every 6 months. Until I met you then. And Albert too, we were going every 3 months. Yeah.
So what's your first memory when you got to Angeles? Like, what's the first thing that you're like, this place is awesome?
This place is a piece of meat.
Reverse universe, yeah. And you said you just got separated from your wife.
Yeah, just got separated, yeah. I wasn't divorced yet. Yeah.
It was like a single guy's trip?
Yeah, that's what it was.
So how much has Walking Street changed from like 2004 to 2024? I guess 20 years.
Plenty. Before was, there was no street and hardly any bar. I mean, big bars. The only one was Dow House was just open. It wasn't even open when I went there. Dow House was still just being built.
So Albert was friends with the guys, obviously, that were building that.
Yeah, I know him too.
And that's why you guys went to go visit them and see the bars they were building?
Yes. No, it's crazy. Crazy.
Can only imagine.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, fast forward to 2024, the street's pretty developed. And there's bars everywhere. Dollhouse is still there.
Yeah, Dollhouse is still there. And Atlantis was being built. I was there when they were building Atlantis too. Yeah.
So at one point you stayed over there for months at a time?
Yeah, well, I would stay there for one time I stayed too long. When I went to the airport, they were like, you're supposed to be out of the country already. Yeah. So it's like,
it was pay like a fine or something.
Yeah. Before you had to pay to get out of you had a duty to get out, at the airport. Now no more.
Now it's all included.
Yeah.
So 20 years, you're kind of on the pace every 6 months. So.
Every 6 months, yeah.
And then lately we've been going, every 3 months.
Yeah.
Obviously extract out COVID, but so you've probably been there 50 to 60 times.
Yeah, I went through 3 passports, yeah.
3 passports.
I'm on my third one, yeah.
Wow, it'd be cool to count all the stamps, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So once they opened up Dollhouse, you said Atlantis came next?
Yeah, Atlantis came next. I was there with that, and then the hotel right across the street was already built before Atlantis.
Okay,
Yeah.
The Fields.
The Fields.
It used to be called the Dollhouse Hotel.
Dollhouse Hotel, yeah.
See, you're the one that gave me the idea, because you were talking about how they had a pool on the roof, right?
Yes.
I just remember that you mentioned that years back when you were talking about the Dollhouse Hotel. And during COVID, me and Glenn used to look at Google Earth because we couldn't go there, and we'd walk the street on Google Earth. And I remember that you said that, and then that's when I got the idea.
Yeah.
Like, how big could this hotel really be? Like, maybe we rent the whole hotel, and then we have this rooftop
crazy
pool
when
bar
you do that.
to ourselves. Yeah, I talked about on another podcast how Amy thought I was full of shit when I was emailing her, like, I want to rent the whole hotel, and and the best part was when we showed up there with you. She already knew you.
Yeah.
Amy's been there forever, right?
Yeah, she's been there forever.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Because I was there when they first opened up. I stayed in one of the hotels. There was with Derek, and Albert. So, and just smelling it was a brand new, just all the what do you call it?
Well, the cool thing is that our next trip, which is 2 weeks away, basically, we're going to stay at the Carousel, which is brand new. It's already open, but I think it's only been open for like a month, so you're going to get that new smell and feeling, and it's right across the street. Unfortunately, there's no pool on the roof, but I figured we'll set up a pre-party right downstairs at that cafe. So on all those trips, do you have any one that sticks out in your mind, or do they just all run together because you've been so many times?
Probably maybe like the third one, where I used to always bring the bus to the airport. I would go there first, and then I would go with Clay and pick up everybody at the airport with a bus, all filled with everything.
Oh, so you were like everybody's favorite guy. You showed up with a bus full of booze and girls and picking up the guys at the airport.
Sometimes I put stuff on their eyes. They're wearing
glasses.
Glasses, yeah. So one guy get a thing on girls with glasses, so they all got glasses. They all got glasses.
So you were like the original tour guide almost.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Excuse me. Yeah. So at what point did you decide okay, they're going to send Mikey out first and get everything set up with the third trip?
About the third trip, I would go with Clay, and we would set everything all up, and we'd set up parties, during the day, stuff like that.
How long were those trips? A couple weeks or week or?
No, 10 days.
10 days, kind of like what we did.
Yeah.
And you guys had some pretty big pool parties at, like Wild Orchid or Orchid Inn?
Wild Orchid, yeah. We did that 10 years in a row. Every October we would have a party there, because that's after Clay passed away.
Oh, like a celebration of life party for him.
Yeah.
And how would the party go? Daytime, nighttime, both?
Yeah, went daytime all the way to night. Yeah.
How many girls would?
Probably about. We'd go get they're probably about 40 girls, and then we had band, food,
Nice. We're gonna try and recreate something like that on this next trip.
It was crazy. A lot of shots going out.
Fun times, huh?
Yeah.
And all the boys, all of Clay's boys and your big group would always
we'd come with a crew, sometimes 20 to 30 people.
Wow.
Sometimes we had 2 buses and 1 van to take all the luggage away.
Awesome.
And that was before the other road was open, so it'd take 3 hours to get there sometimes, because we'd stop, and get something to eat, and we'd get more alcohol.
So for me, obviously I met you and Albert through work, and I got to know Albert over time. He wasn't the easiest guy for me to get to know because I was new in town, and you know how he can be, but we started doing business together and became friends. And then one of my guys that works with me, out of nowhere one day, he's like, you should ask Albert to take you to the Philippines. And I didn't even know what that meant, right? But I was like, all right. So next time I saw Albert, I'm like, hey, you should take me to the Philippines. He's like, you have a passport? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I don't remember how much time passed, maybe a month or so, a couple months. And I go over to the yard to see you guys, and Albert's like, what are you doing next week? And no plans. And he's like, I bought you a ticket. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And so, like, at that point, like, I just had met you guys. I didn't know you all that well, but I was like, fuck, what I get myself into? So I was, like, halfway excited, but kind of nervous at the same time because I really didn't know you guys that well. And I wasn't, like, worried that, like, anything was going to go bad, but I was like, what the fuck did I get myself into with these guys? Yeah. So I remember the morning of, I was at my office, and one of the girls that works with me, I was telling her, I'm like, dude, I don't know about this. And she's like, just go. Like, I'm sure you'll have a great time. So anyways, I meet up with you guys at the yard. We go down to the airport, and all your buddies, like Willie and Bear and all those guys. And it's like 9 a.m. and you guys are having Bloody Marys at the airport. And I told Glenn that there's this movie called Really Bad Things. And it's about these guys that go on this bachelor party to Vegas. Everything goes wrong. And I told Glenn, like, I felt like I was in that movie. Like, I'm like this 30-year-old guy with all these older guys that are just getting wasted at the airport, getting ready to go. I didn't know what I got myself into. So then we get on the plane, and I was sitting across from you and Albert, and like my phone just died for some reason, just stopped working. And these were the older planes, so you didn't have like your own little monitor or TV. So, like, I literally just sat there in my own thoughts for, like, 10 hours, right? And at that point, I was, like, just regretting it. Like, what did I get myself into? Why am I doing this? Like, you're an idiot. Yeah. Then we land on the ground, and, we meet up with everybody at the baggage claim, and we come out, and we're all standing there on the curb, and it's, like, 5 o'clock. It's hot as shit. And I'm still in the mindset of, like, why am I here? Why did I do this? And then the bus pulls up. Yeah. And I remember Willie saying, "Oh, there's our ride." And like, I'm just standing there, and we're putting our bags underneath the bus, and there's curtains on the bus, and like, I see the curtains pull open, and there's these two girls looking out, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Yeah. And then Willie yells out, like, "Let the cherry boy get on first." And that was obviously me. And I walked in, and I was like, oh my God, there's a bunch of girls, and I forget the guy's name, but one of Derek's guys that's always has all the alcohol, and he handed me a beer, and I sat down, and the rest is history, obviously, for that. But the next part that was funny is, like, so we get back we finally get to Angeles, and that was the old days when there was no Skyway or whatever. Right, it took like 6 hours, you know. Yeah. We get to Angeles, and, like, we check into the hotel, and, got the girls with me and whatever, and you guys knock at my door, and you're like, let's go. And I'm just thinking, we just traveled for 24 hours.
Yeah, gotta go.
I got some girls, like, why leave? And you guys, obviously, I didn't have a choice. It's like, you got to come. And we walked into Atlantis, and it was like literally like the gates of heaven opening up. Yeah. And so, like, the trip that I brought Glenn and Matt for the first time, which was my second trip, like, same thing happened with them. We got to the hotel, and they're like, "Why do you want to go out?" And I'm like, "No, you guys are going out. Like, you have to have this experience, right?" And I think we went to Atlantis.
Yeah, I mean, basically I had the same experience. I remember I was like, well, there's no need to leave.
Yeah.
So we made it, we had chicks, whatever, and I remember, like, walking down the street, like, where are we going? And Atlantis, that bar, man. That place has a special place.
Yeah,
I always had a good time there.
Huge.
Yeah, Atlantis is a lot of fun. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'll always be grateful you guys for taking me.
Yeah, I had fun with all the guys there. I watched them, even at the hotel, jump off the thing into the pool. One breaks his arm, his leg.
And the one cool thing is, like, I've heard about all your guys' past, memories and trips. Like, never really heard anything bad that's ever happened. Like, no, for the most part, everyone's had a great time, and it's always been successful. And
everything's always good.
Yeah. I mean, you got a great bunch of friends, and obviously the people there in the Philippines are great, and they always make it a great time. So you remember your third trip is one of the better ones. Any other memories of other trips that stand out?
Not too much. Not all of them, yeah. Just the one where they get to the airport and they go, "Oh, we're overbooked. Anybody like, stay and, you can fly later, they're going to give you money and everything else." I said, me. Yeah.
Oh, you were there coming home.
Yeah, I was going home, and then next thing you know, me. I raised my hand and
money and get the stay.
Got the money, and I got extra stuff, and so right away I went right back to Angeles. And then Derek was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then I stayed longer than I was supposed to. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I always have that when we're sitting at the airport coming home. I'm always like, got this thought in my head, like, I kind of hope our flight gets canceled and we go back, you know?
That's happened to me.
And I always have this thought of, like, maybe I just don't go back at all. You know, like, I got some money still in my bag. Like, maybe I just stay.
Yeah, they gave me a free trick where I could use in a year and gave me money to stay and a free flight home. I was like, all right.
There you go.
I think I stayed an extra week then, longer than I was supposed to. Yeah, I was only supposed to leave the next day or 2 days ago. I stayed another week.
I don't blame you. I would do the same thing. So looking at the bars over the years, like, if you had to pick, like, top three, like, what are the three best that you personally enjoy?
Well, I always go into the dollhouse first. I mean, I used to always do that because my friend, yeah.
It's the original
The
one.
original, yeah. Then all kinds, he opened plenty, yeah. He opened, he had like 12, yeah.
Wow, 12.
Yeah, 12 at one time, you know. But yeah, I was always into dollhouse, you know. That's, you know, probably my best one that I used to always
gold
go
standard,
to.
huh?
Yeah, I always go in because they all knew me too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, when they would have, you know, big dance off and something like that, I'd be the one up there giving them the, putting it on around there and
giving the beads.
Yeah,
the winner to the dance contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for myself, and I would imagine Glenn too, like, Atlantis is kind of like the gold standard for us because that's like the first one we went to.
Yeah.
And Dollhouse was always there. We always went there too, but we always started. You know, my first trip, that's where we went first, and that's where I took them.
Yeah, they used to be open 24 hours, and they
Dollhouse,
closed.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Man,
they were one of the only
24
ones. There was only 2 bars open 24 hours, you know, and sometimes I get out in his daylight.
So there was nothing like Dollhouse or Atlantis when he opened those, right? Because they're like 2-3 stories.
Dollhouse was
like,
there was nothing like Dollhouse when they opened. That was the big thing. Yeah, Dollhouse.
everything was kind of like the way it is outside of Walking Street, where they're just tiny little places
they're
with a tiny stage.
Yeah, little bars.
Is there anyone that closed down that you remembered being really good that went away?
God, I cannot think right now.
There's just so many, right?
Yeah, so many closed. They changed names. Yeah.
I mean, Dollhouse and Atlantis have been there a long time, and those are kind of like the staple now.
I was there when they sat and they put the AC up on the roof. You know, had the cranes shut off the street.
Wow.
big crane and put the AC up on the roof. Yeah.
Did they have any type of like grand openings, like big parties?
Oh
when
yeah,
they first opened up?
we used to have down the street. You know, they used to have parade, everything like that. Yeah. We used to have a Hawaiian Day. Yeah. Yeah. I remember one time I brought three coolers in, and it was all food. Yeah. And customs says, no, you can't bring that in. So I just gave them one, and they let me bring the rest in. Yeah. I says, well, look at all these Hawaiians I got to feed. Yeah.
That's funny they wouldn't let you bring the food in.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense with like the agricultural rules and whatnot.
What are you doing with all this? I'm like, you got to give me your passport. Yeah. And everybody else is outside. Hey, you guys got to give your passport. They walk away. So I'm just up here talking to them.
When did they open up the Scorebirds Hotel?
That was, wow. I don't know the year, but I started staying there right away. But I don't remember the year.
But he had all the bars going for a while.
Yeah, I had all the bars going then. And then when COVID hit, then he shut a lot of them down.
Yeah, COVID changed the face of that place like it did so many places all over the world, right?
You're right. It did. It was like, you got to wear a mask, this and that. And it was just crazy.
Before they started where they had like the parties and the pool parties and the contests, were other bars doing that, or did those guys set that?
Yeah, they had, what did they call it? But you bought a ticket and they went in there and they would lock the doors, and you would, eat, watch. They would have like three groups come in, 4 groups, bars or different hotels or something like that, and dance off.
Perform and have like a contest.
Yeah. One time I was in there. That was one of my first trips. We had one of them. And next thing you know, they closed the door and we got raided.
Oh my God.
You got raided, yeah.
How'd that go?
It was pretty good for me. I got a free one.
So everybody just had to disperse, basically.
Yeah, disperse, yeah. Because you're not supposed to lock the door or nothing like that. So they came in and, It's like, okay, but I didn't get arrested. So
That's
so,
good.
Yeah.
Any more raids when you were there, or just that's the one?
No, just that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
You see them sometimes when we've been there. I've never been in a bar when they actually raided one, but you
Yeah.
sometimes see like the aftermath of it.
Yeah, they're just looking for minors. Yeah.
Yeah, to keep in order, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the Scoreboards is that they got that cool pool setup where they have those pool parties, and now they only do it like I think once a month.
Once a month, yeah. Used to do it every Sunday. Yeah, so that was always good.
That's awesome. So, do you ever have a memory of one of like a trip that didn't go well, or a trip that you remember being not good for whatever reason?
When I would break up with one girl, poor guy, yeah.
Oh,
Security, yeah.
That might have been the first time I met you.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I was like,
I just
this
said,
is how rough.
let's be friends, and she just got, yeah.
breakups are never good. I don't
Yeah.
care with who or when; they're just
Yeah,
never good,
yeah.
right?
When I made a phone call, I had one waiting for me, yeah.
So, did you guys island hop much, or did you start doing that more when we
No,
started?
I island hop or go, but I went to Boracay, but I'd never go out on the beach a lot, yeah. But we'd only stay like 3 days, yeah. And all over went, I seen Chocolate Hills and,
So you guys went to Cebu too. I remember you told me about that.
yeah,
trip.
yeah. I've been to quite a few places,
No, it's a great country. It's a lot of fun to travel all around.
yeah.
So if you were to like set up your perfect trip, how would it go? Like,
Oh, just relax. I'm not crazy like I used to be.
yeah, a couple days in Angeles and
Yeah.
then go somewhere cool to relax.
Yeah, yes. Before I would go, I was, I'm picking out for the day before or day after. I was just, out drinking plenty, but just relax, yeah.
I mean, 10 days in Angeles is definitely hard on your body.
Oh, yeah, that it is. But they open up plenty good restaurants.
So looking back on it now, obviously it doesn't sound like you'd change anything, right?
No, not really. I just love the island, love everything.
You have any interest of retiring there and moving there?
Oh, eventually, yeah.
That's the long-term goal.
Yes, yeah. Well, right now I feel like I'm 40, so I'm at 40.
Single at 40, right?
40, yeah.
Perfect. Would you want to live in Angeles or would you want to live somewhere else if you retired
I
there?
would live out of Angeles a little bit, yeah, where I could still go to Angeles, in 20 minutes or half an hour.
Close enough drive, but get away from it so you don't have to live with the
Yeah.
noise and the craziness.
Yes. Maybe raise some chickens.
So how many girlfriends have you had over the years that became serious?
I bought a few houses. I started some sari stores. Yeah. So I've been to quite a few.
The best advice you guys gave me, and I mean, that's kind of like the theme of our channel, is to just enjoy but treat everybody well,
Yeah.
I remember you and Albert telling me, like, just treat everybody you meet, well, and they'll treat you well. And
All my exes I still get along with. Yeah.
just the bars in general, everybody working there, because there's a lot of negativity on the internet, at least, especially, there. I mean, you watch all the YouTube stuff like we do, and everybody seems to, all about saving money and, saying everything's a scam and whatnot.
Yeah.
And people lose sight of, like, you're there, it's an entertainment district, you're there to have a good time.
Right.
And the people that are working there are there to show you a good time. And if you get caught up in that rabbit hole of thinking everyone's going to rip you off, how are you going to have a good time? You're always going to be worried, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's like it won't happen if you just treat people right and have a good time.
Yeah. I've seen that where they used to go, Mike. I thought they were calling, what they're calling trike. Yeah. Like, how the hell do they know my name?
Well, now everybody does know your name.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, how many times have we walked into a bar and it's like,
Yeah, I know quite a few
somebody
people.
knows you, like the mama san or the waitress or like the DJ, like everybody knows you.
I used to bring all little gifts, and give them away all the time. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We did that too. We ended up getting some trinkets or something.
Yeah, I had
my first trip, you gave me something. I was like, dude.
Yeah, I always bring one suitcase with the envelopes or the earrings.
No, I mean, you guys set that standard for us of being kind and giving, and it'll
they
make
love
a
it.
better
Yeah.
time. Yeah. I mean, everyone's got to go there with money. I realize people are on a budget, but it's like you're there to have a good time. And you guys really set that standard for us, and then we've just tried to take it farther, you know?
Yeah, I know. I've had fun.
No, it's been a good run, man. The COVID years were miserable.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We were all set to go in March, and then boom, you know, just shut down for 2
We
years.
just came back, I think, yeah, right? And then COVID hit.
Not you guys
Oh,
did.
I just came back.
Yeah, you guys just did. We hadn't been, you know, in months, and we were circled that March trip. We had this big trip planned, and
Yeah, I just came back and then it hit. It was like, oh, it was breaking.
yeah, at least you got that one in right before it hit. 'Cause
Right.
We didn't, and
Yeah.
so it turned out for us to be like over like 2 years or something, maybe even longer. I don't remember exactly how long.
Wow.
But I do remember when they opened up. I remember you were
yeah.
one of the first people that texted me, and then we had to sort through the getting tested and vaccines and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
bullshit.
Because I ended up going to Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to go to Wisconsin because I had tickets for the, Green Bay game, but then they lost to you guys. Yeah. So I ended up over there anyways, met all my family again. I stayed there, and then they opened up when I was gone. Yeah.
I remember. And then we were able to go pretty quick. I think they opened up in February, and I think we were able to get there like April.
Yeah.
But I remember me, you, Glenn, everyone going to Waikiki to the doctor's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Waikiki to
That's
get
right. We had to get
the
the
tests and whatnot, and
Yeah.
all the paperwork to fly, and then they had that e-travel thing we had to fill out, and everyone's wearing masks.
Yeah, I got to wear a mask on the whole trip there and back, yeah.
But that was a great trip because it was like, 2 years in the waiting, and then we stayed at the Fields Hotel. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's when we met Bernie and Red and all those guys that worked at Sky, and
Yeah.
the rest is history.
And I knew Bernie for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, Devin, he's worked all over that place, you know.
Yeah. It was crazy. So,
yeah. Everyone seems to know Bernie too when we
Yeah.
go places.
I think he's worked on Walking Street for like 15, 16 years.
Wow.
yeah.
He was at Atlantis for a while. I think he was at XS for a while, and now, he's at Sky. So,
Yeah. Good man.
yeah, no, he takes care of us. It's always fun. Look forward to seeing him in a couple weeks. So, your history there is crazy. I hope we can go for 20 straight years
Oh, yeah.
like you have.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, had all kinds. Sometimes I go with hardly any money. I just go.
Just make it work, yeah.
Yeah.
No regrets over the 20 years.
No regrets. No regrets.
No, that's a good way to live life, and that's why I've always been drawn to you, because you're always positive and
No regrets. I love it over there. Yeah.
always down to have a good time.
Yeah. Also, I used to drink plenty.
There you go.
So looking at like the New Angeles and how everything's kind of changed, like what bars do you like now? Obviously the Dollhouse in Atlantis,
Yeah.
but what other ones have you grown fond of over the years?
Oh, it's the one, what is it called? The one right next to, I can't think of the name.
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah. I
Right.
like Vegas. And yeah, a lot of them, the little ones closed, yeah. I can't really think of it anymore right now.
I mean, my favorite two are Sky and Genesis.
Yeah.
That seems to be where we end up
Yeah.
a lot of the times when we go now.
Yeah, well, like Sky before used to be a hotel. There was a restaurant down below. Sky was never built, but then it turned to Reds, and everything was red inside. Yeah, after he leaned it out. Yeah,
Sky.
Yeah. Otherwise, that was a restaurant where you could sit down in front and eat, watch people walk by. Yeah, it was a Dollhouse hotel and restaurant.
Interesting. I'm glad they turned into Sky. That's like my favorite place to go.
And plus, it was right there. You could crawl upstairs. Huh?
Yeah, that's the best part of the Fields. It's gonna be weird not staying there because that's where we've pretty much stayed consistently for the last 2 years. But I mean, we got to go where Amy's at, right?
Right. Yeah, Amy's best.
And it's like right across the street, so the location doesn't change. Just not having the pool upstairs. I messaged Amy. I know she's very close with the owners, and I told her to have them like put something upstairs. Like it doesn't have to be a pool, but at least like some tables with like a covering, so you can at least hang out.
Right.
And I don't know if they can permit wise, but maybe they will down the line, and then that place will be fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first time sitting there, staying there. So it'd be.
You ever think about, like, if you never ended up going there, like, where your life would be? Like, where would you be up to?
Because I was scared when I first went through. I had to get a passport, and I'm like, what am I getting myself into? Yeah. When I went there, though, I was like, I was great. I mean, this is the best thing I needed. I'm getting a divorce. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, and that's why it's all special, all of us, because it's like almost like life changing, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and then I just figure, I got to make my next trip right away. Yeah, otherwise I get the PPD. What is it? The Philippine
Philippines depression.
Yeah, depression. Yeah,
that's a real thing. I mean,
yeah.
I saw something on the internet, people talking about like post-travel depression.
Yeah,
it's like a real thing. People, set up these trips and then they come home and it's like over and they're all depressed. But there's only one way to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Plan the next trip.
Plan the next trip.
It's funny that you started doing that because that's exactly how. I mean, that's what we use to motivate ourselves to get up and go to work every day, right? It's like the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, crazy.
No, that's awesome that you say that because like we think the same way and that's the only way to get over it.
And they've changed too through the years. The bars, they all changed. We used to, they have live music. We used to, take one day we go to live music and relax. Yeah. I
mean, change is going to happen everywhere, right? It's inevitable, but it's all about, just adapting to it. And the one thing I've learned over the years too, I mean, the bars are the bars. The people are great there, but it's all about the group you're with.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate to have you guys take us there, which your guys' friend group's an awesome group. And then, we've created our own small one. And, now you're with us on all the trips. And that's what makes it. I mean, we can go into any bar and have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah, that we do. You do.
Just bring the party with you, you know?
Yeah. And they love it. They go nuts.
I love it too when we go to the bar and we kind of take over, and then some of the customers leave, and then some just join us. Right?
Yeah.
I love the guys that join. Like, why not? Like, come join us and party. But definitely, it's a great freaking place. Where do you think your life would be if you never found it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a scary thought, right?
It's scary. Yeah, I don't know where I would be. Yeah,
because it's like 20 years of enjoyment.
Like when I first got separated, we didn't get divorced for just separated. I didn't get really final divorce for 10 years. Yeah, but we had a good relationship. And she's wondering why I'm still in Hawaii. Yeah, why didn't you move back home? Right? It's just because I met some good friends here.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. And it's close to the Philippines.
Yeah, it's close to the Philippines. Yeah.
And you were going every 6 months.
Yeah, and the tickets were cheap back then. Less than $800.
Oh, man.
Sometimes $600, and it was crazy. The tickets.
Good old days, man. Like ever since COVID, the prices have never came back down. I remember before COVID, it was like $800.
Yeah,
and it was probably cheaper before that, right?
Yeah. And then everything over there was cheap too.
And you've flown different routes. Like obviously, we prefer the direct Philippine Airlines, but you've gone through like China and Korea.
Yeah, I went through China, Korea. I used to stop in Guam. Yeah. Whichever the cheapest flight, I would plan it. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks to having a layover, but it's all about the end result, right?
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, I was self-employed, so I didn't, I could stay. I didn't care about the 2 days before to get there, or a day and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And being self-employed and having that freedom.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, me and Glenn work for a corporation, so we don't have that. But we figured out a way to go 4 times a year for our 11-day trip, right? And that's always the light at the end of the tunnel.
It is.
No, I'm fortunate that I even met you guys and got the experience because, like I said, I didn't. The only thing I knew about the Philippines is Glenn's family was from there and Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
That was like my knowledge of the Philippines. I had no idea how beautiful the place was and how much fun it could be.
And when he fights, the whole country shuts down. I mean, it's like everything's shut down. No more jeepney, no more nothing.
Yeah. So you were there during, obviously, when he was at the height of his career.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
They probably had the fights on at the bars and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything just shut down here. It's like you got to get there, make sure you got your own car to get home. Because there's no jeepney, no nothing. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. I can imagine.
Plus the casinos too. I like go there once in a while too. All the casinos.
What's your favorite food there? What's your favorite place to eat?
Wow, that changes. There's so much different. Like the one they cook the food in front of you.
The Korean barbecue, yeah.
Korean barbecue,
I'm
yeah.
definitely fond of that place.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Jollibee menu item?
Oh, geez. I always get the hamburger, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
hamburger.
burger. I'm all about the Jolly Hot Dog.
Yeah. But yeah, I eat anything with it except for balat, yeah.
So it's funny how like you were taken at a point in your life where it sounds like you kind of needed it.
Yeah, I needed it.
For me, I didn't realize I needed it, but I have a story like me and Glenn talk about. It was our second trip, and I mean after school and got into my career, or whatever, trying to be an adult or act like an adult, like it was just all work for me, and I never traveled at all in my life really, and I had no real desire to because I didn't know how fun it could be. And then you guys taking me on that trip like literally opened my eyes to it. And then the second trip, when we went to Boracay, I remember we were at the hotel in Boracay, the Red Coconut, and it was pouring rain when we were there. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And me, Matt, and Glenn were up in one of our rooms, one of the bigger suite rooms, and had all the girls with us, and we were eating pizza and like taking shots of tequila. And I just had this feeling that I hadn't had since I was a kid, like. And it reminded me of like when me and Glenn were in college and we'd go out and party, or when I was in high school after football games partying, and it was just this feeling that like I had lost as an adult, and I didn't realize like you can still have fun as an adult. Like it's a different kind of fun, different place, but just having that feeling is what completely changed my life.
Yeah, it changed my life too. That it did. It wasn't like why did I get divorced?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny how that works out, right? Because that's why I asked, like, where would you be if you never found it?
I don't know.
Remarried and miserable? I don't know.
No, I was married. I had a good marriage, yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, if you hadn't have found the Philippines after the divorce, like, where would you be now? Would you have gotten remarried?
I'd probably be miserable. I'd probably be miserable.
Miserable somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the best part about it. And I mean, that's one of the things we're trying to promote with the channel and the YouTube and the podcast is get people to get out of their comfort zone and try something new, because you never know what can have a life-changing effect on
everybody
you.
has a different, different feeling. I mean, different something else, it's different when they go to the Philippines, Like I've seen some guys when we take like 30, 40 people there, one guy would say, "Oh, I don't like it," and he'd go home,
Yeah.
He'd go home the next day. We just change his stick and go home,
Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. I mean, we've brought in people that have never came back with us, and I attribute to that as maybe they didn't enjoy it like we did, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like we're just like, just try something new, and maybe it will have that effect on you. If it doesn't, go do something else. I just hate people who live in the silent desperation, because that's where I was, and just having that experience just opened my eyes.
Plus, you go there and you see people live, some that they hardly don't have nothing, but they live and they're happy with what they got, right? Yeah.
No, that's a really good point, and I think Americans forget how lucky we are.
Right.
And you talk to people about politics and all the nonsense going on in our country, and it's like I have a different perspective because I've gone to other places, and I wish more Americans could do that and see how the rest of the world lives, because I mean, it's a great point. Like,
you can see the rich, you see the poor, and even the poor are happy.
Oh yeah, like the guy, like people in Boracay, they live on the beach and they're just content with their life,
Yeah. That changed my life when I came home. I didn't have to have this and this, just survive and have be happy. Rather than I gotta buy this, I gotta buy this.
You lose the desire for material things.
Yeah.
And same for me. Like going there is my material thing. Like that's the thing that I reward myself with, and all the other stuff just becomes pointless.
It's good fun.
Totally good. And then the relationships with people you make over there. Like you've got a ton of friends over there. Tons of people know you.
Yeah, a ton of friends. Yeah, I've had my 50th birthday over there. Yeah. And then I had my 50th. I had my the 45th and 50th birthday over there. Yeah.
Great place to be. I think I had my 42nd birthday over there.
Yeah.
In July, but
it was crazy. They had everything going on.
Fireworks and a parade for Mikey's birthday.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was a good time.
So what would your advice be to somebody that's watching the podcast that's never been to the Philippines?
Check it out. Yeah. I mean, enjoy life. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody gets something different out of it. So I mean, see what you fits your need. Yeah. You have fun.
Biggest thing is just taking the step and going.
Yeah.
Right?
Just take a step.
Get the passport and fly over there.
Yeah. That was my biggest thing too. Get the passport. Yeah. I got to get everything together, and I was like, well, what am I doing? Where am I going? Yeah, right. Because I've been to China too before. Went over there, walked on that Great Wall, everything.
You've been to Thailand, obviously, with us, and you've been there before we went.
Yeah, I've been to Thailand a couple of times. And China was that's what was different, because nobody speaks English at all over there. Yeah. It was just something different. Yeah. But it was an experience. Yeah.
And how do you rate Thailand versus the Philippines?
Well, Philippines is way better. Way better.
It's just so different, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Thailand's good, but they're just different. And I'm with you, obviously. The Philippines is number one for us.
And Thailand, was good fun too. But it's like, it was just different. Yeah. The food is great over there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we'll wrap this up, Mikey. If you want any more closing comments to the guys that have never been, or the people that have never been, just get there,
Let's get there, Have fun.
Well, I thank you, because without you guys taking me, like, I always think about where would my life be, And,
Well, I love you guys. There you go.
Feelings likewise, Mikey.
Yeah. Thanks for being our guest, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll get you on some video on the next trip, and
All right,
we'll move forward and keep going.
Yeah.
Another 20 years.
Another 20 years,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll do our next podcast in a week, and we're going to talk more about Thailand. And then we got some guests when we get out to the Philippines. But you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, everything, Single at 40. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.